Kishoriji, thank you very much for being on this show. I know you rarely do television interviews. How come? And why are you so reclusive? Because you're known to be a kind of reclusive kind of a person.
Well, I don't know why I accepted this. I have no reason. But I felt like talking to you about music, which is getting extinct day by day. And I would like to talk about this art.
Musicians, and even those who are great musicians, they call you a genius.
Well, I only know that I'm a devotee of music, and I treat my music as a divine path, you know.
Zakir Hussain told us that a genius is somebody who falters, because the genius is always trying to experiment and therefore gets things wrong a lot of the time. But when the genius gets things right, the genius surpasses all the boundaries. In fact, he said something in this context about you. Would you like to hear it?
Oh, sure. Why not?
All right.
And go do something that's going to take me somewhere else. I mean, Kishori Amonkar is one of those kind of people. And that's why you see her, at times on stage struggling, and, you walk through with her pain and with her frustrations and everything. And then that moment arrives when she reaches, that special place. And we are all transported. And so that's what genius is, a little different.
Okay, Kishoriji, we just heard what Zakir Hussain had to say about you. What would you like to say about that?
Well, he himself is a great artist himself. I mean, he is very sincere towards his art, and therefore I believe in what he says. Actually, I love him very much, and he's a genius himself. Well, so a genius knows better a genius. That's what I think.
Kishoriji, you come from the Jaipur Gharana. Traditionally, the focus of the Gharana has been on technical perfection. But in your case, apart from the technique, you've also focused on the emotional content of your music. What has been your thinking in this respect?
I believe that all art is emotional. I mean, without emotion, art cannot exist.
But it's correct to say your primary focus has been on the emotional content of your music.
Yeah. See, because all these gharanas used to, they use the medium, but they don't use the purpose behind the medium. And that purpose is an emotional expression of any language. I mean, I call this as a language of notes, So through these notes, and you are supposed to express your emotions, express your feelings. I try to merge with the atmosphere of a raga, with the emotional aspect of.
Kishoriji, the origin of our classical music, of course, is in the Vedas, but since then, over time, there have been many influences which have crept into the music. I know that you've tried to sort of bring it back to the origin. What exactly have you been trying to do?
I actually went back to the source, back to the roots, Indian music hails from the Vedas, There were some people who tried to explore the language of notes without the bindings of rhythm and verse and whatnot. So it was a pure language of notes. But after this, when the Muslims came in, they took only the medium part of the entire music, entire language of notes.
You're talking about the Mughal period.
Yeah, Mughal period.
And when you said that during the Mughal period they focus more on the medium, what exactly do you
Yes,
mean?
the medium is only the asthais and antras and the compositions and different ragas and this and that. What I mean to say is that if you really have a command over the language of notes, then I think that for me, they speak to me. They sing with me, I sing with them. I mean, they are very close to me. Because I try to surpass the technicalities of this Indian classical music so as to alapi karo, phir bol alap karo, phir taan karo, ye karo, wo karo. For what? Only because you want to show the command on your medium?
What you're saying is that from the Mughal period onward, the influence on our classical music was that, you begin with an alap and then you get into the jor
that's
and
a
jhala and you do
technical
all of
format.
that. There's a certain format you follow. But you've been trying to break away from that format and focus only on the notes, the music, the emotion behind the notes. Is that what you're saying?
Well, what I mean to say, as I first said, that art is emotional. It has to be emotional. And I did not find any emotional concept, any emotional happenings in this technicalities of the form. Yani ke, from Astayantra to the Tanas, that's our range of medium.
And what you're saying is in the origin, in the Vedas from which our music originates,
they were
the focus has been on the emotional content,
Yes.
on the notes.
Yes.
And that's what you're trying to bring back into classical music.
I think I did.
Kishori, how did you prepare for a concert? I heard from somebody that you decide even 2 or 3 weeks before a concert what rags you're going to play, and then you prepare very meticulously for the concert.
Yes, because I believe in the feelings of a raga, which takes time for me to get into it.
Okay, we've talked about how you prepare for a concert. Let's arrive at the concert day itself. Now you go into the green room behind the stage, and I believe that nobody's allowed inside the green room. Why is that? What's going on inside?
Because I have my Swaramandal, which has 36 strings to tune. It takes time. And I also believe that each raga has notes which have their own placements in that particular raga to create the atmosphere. Now, for example, if I want to sing Bibhas, the Chari, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, the sixth note, we call it as Utri Dhaivat, descending Dhaivat. And to get that particular tune, I need absolute patience and peace. क्या होता है कभी कभी लोग आते हैं hello Mrs. Amonkar, how are you, and this and that, and I get distracted, and I don't want any disturbance in that. And also because I want to remain with the atmosphere of the raga that I'm going to sing.
You're a master of many different rags, but there's some particular rags where you're considered an absolute master, like Bageshri or Bhoop. Bhoop, in fact, you've recorded many times. I've also heard your Bhoop, on a number of occasions on CD. It's beautiful.
Well, because I like those ragas. You know what Bhupa is? In Sanskrit it is Bhupa. It's a king. Now, I was very fascinated by that name, And I said, "Ye Raja ka matlab kya hai?" Actually, it is 5 notes. Sari, Ga, Pa, Dha. 5 notes. Very difficult to sing, I thought, like a human being naturally, I thought a king, when he takes a 2-month-old child, his own son, in his hands, how must he be taking? He's a Raja. The love, the compassion for his own son.
He's not a king at the time.
He is a father.
Yeah.
He is a father. So a Bhoop can be a father, he can be a ruler, he can be anything. So let me try that character in Bhoop.
also created a wonderful bandish, a composition, Sahela Re, in Bhoop. It's a favorite of a lot of people. Beautiful words, and in fact, why don't you tell us what are the words and what are the meanings behind those words?
It's Sahela Re Aa Mil Gaye. The poet says to his friend, who is God Almighty. Sahela is not a friend. I call him a friend, you know. So please, you have to. बहुत लोगों को वो गलत फहमी है. Sahela means a friend or whatever, a lover or whatever. It's not like that. Sahela re aa mil gaye. Come, let's sing together. And what do we sing? Sapt suran ke bhed sunaye. Let us see the different aspects of these 7 notes in music. Come. And now that you have come, do not go, do not leave me. अब के मिले सो बिछुड़ न जाए. हम चाहते हैं कि हम आपसे हमेशा मिलते रहे. This is the meaning of the composition.
सहेला रे सहेला रे सहेला रे जन्म जन्म को संगन भूले अब के मिले सो बिछुड़ा ना जाए सहेला रे सहेला रे यार मिल गए सत सुरन के भेड़ सहेला रे सहेला रे यार मिल गए सत सुरन के भेड़ सहेला रे
Kishori ji, I also know you're very fond of bhajans. You're particularly fond of Mirabai, and you've lent music to many of her compositions.
Yes, I in love with Meera because she loved Lord Krishna. And I like the feeling that she sings with. I like the feeling, the way she deals with Krishna, Lord Krishna. I like it, so I sing. Jogiya se प्रीत किया दुख हो प्रीत किया सुख ना मोरी सजनी प्रीत किया सुख ना मोरी सजनी जोगी मीत नहा जोगी मीत नहा जोगिया से प्रीत किया दुख हो जोगिया से प्रीत किया दुख हो.
Kishori ji, let's take a short break right now. When we come back, we'll talk about the fact that you're considered a genius, but you're also considered a moody, temperamental, and eccentric genius.
Yes.
There are lots of interesting
I'll
stories.
talk about that later.
Yeah, there are lots of interesting stories. We'll be right back on our talk. Kishori ji, with every genius, there are lots of stories around them, and there are lots of stories about you. So let me begin with the first one, which is that you refuse to do more than 4 concerts a month. Why is that?
Basically, let me tell you, I don't sing for the sake of earning money. I want to give the best of what I have each time I appear on the stage.
Well, Kishori ji, I also believe there's a story. Something happened with your mother, who was a great vocalist herself, which made you vow that you won't do more than 4 concerts a month.
Yeah.
What happened?
Basically, she is a Gana Tapaswini. I mean, she never sang for money. She was not very much fond of going before the people and singing and giving different concerts. So I was very innocent at that time. So I rang up my mommy and I told him, Mommy, I'm getting 8 concerts in 1 month. So she said, okay, well, very good. But that was a time when I used to travel by train, you know. And he said, Acha. So for one concert, you need 4 days, right? To and fro, plus the concert day. That goes to 4. Now, अभी मुझे बताओ कि 8 प्रोग्राम के 4 दिन के हिसाब से कितने होते हैं? So I said 32, Mama. तो महीने में कितने दिन होते हैं? मैंने कहा 30. So you tell me now, in this 1 month, do you get any time to practice? No. So 1 month, तेरी तो practice होने वाली नहीं है. I cannot call you my disciple. I'm sorry. I want a disciple who will every day and night think about music, sing, sadhana करेगी तो ही हो जाएगा. And don't you ever sing for money.
So after that day, you stopped doing more than 4 concerts a month.
Yeah, I did. I till today, of course, till today.
Okay, now second sort of eccentricity about you is that you rarely perform abroad. Why is that?
I believe that if they want to hear my music, they should come to India to listen to me. Why should I go to them?
But not everybody can afford coming to India.
Nor can I afford. They can afford to pay me too. So, well.
Your fees are so high, are they?
Oh, well. Even the traveling is quite expensive that way.
The other thing is that often in concerts, you don't like light to be on your face. In fact, I've seen it myself in one concert where I saw you virtually in the dark and you were singing from the dark.
Because I believe in the listeners to listen to me than to look at me. Well, that's what it is. I mean, because if I want to go introvert, I do need peace. I cannot tolerate these strong lights. I mean, I cannot get into it. That may be my weakness, but then because I close my eyes and I sing, that's one of the reasons also why.
So the lights are distracting.
They are distracting. They don't allow me to focus into what I'm going to sing, you know.
Okay, now another question of your sort of mood, as it were, is that if supposing a concert is to begin at 7 p.m., you rarely actually appear on the stage at 7 p.m. You keep your audience waiting half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. Why is that?
I don't think that this happens every time.
But it happens often enough.
It may, because when I sit in my green room, I'm with the first opening raga that I'm going to sing. And sometimes the instruments are not friendly sometimes. It may be because of AC, maybe because of too much sound of AC or bahar ki gadbad. So it takes time. Now, after tuning the instrument, you know, it should give me the atmosphere of the raga that I'm going to sing. I may be a fool, but this is what I am, and I'm sincere towards what I am. So, कभी-कभी होता है कि bhup, I suppose if I want to sing bhup, then it gives me the picture of bhup after playing the instrument. Then I'm satisfied. Then I said, the moment I sit on the stage, I start with sa, you know. And I want people to listen to the best of what I can give them, rather than be there on time at 9 o'clock and do nothing.
Okay, but Kishori, let me ask you something. You know and you accept that you are temperamental though?
You know, जैसे माँ बाप होते हैं ना अपने बच्चे के लिए, वो गुंडा है, बहुत गर्दी करता है, बहुत गड़बड़ करता है, बहुत ये है वो है. That's the way I take this criticism from my parents, from my listeners. But at the same time, I so surely know that they love my music and they love me too.
And your students, of course, love you a lot, but your students say you're very strict. If they're supposed to be there at 1 o'clock for riyaz, if they're there even at 1:02, they've had it. But during the riyaz, you're very loving and you give everybody individual attention.
Yes, I have bestowed my life upon them actually. And I want them to have little control on their mind, on their senses. Because unless you have that, control on your organs, control on your senses, control on your intelligence and this and that, ये कला तो इतनी सीधी सादी नहीं है कि वो जैसे आएगी.
Kishori ji, you have very strong views on fusion music. What are your views on fusion?
No, it's a fusion, it's a confusion for me. Yeah, because एक कहावत है, उद्धरेत आत्मानम, खुद का उद्धार खुद ही करना चाहिए. जब हम ध्यान के लिए बैठते हैं, ये तो it's a meditative contemplation when I sing, when I try to explore, when I try to create something, I am one with that raga. At that time, if something else comes in, then it distracts me. फ्यूजन का मतलब क्या होता है? एक ही राग को 4 लोगों ने गाया, तो उस राग को गाना चाहिए या टेक्निकलिटीज दिखानी चाहिए? अगर टेक्निकलिटीज दिखाएंगे तो राग का एटमॉस्फेयर तो बन ही नहीं सकता. सो इट्स अ फ्यूजन, इट्स अ कन्फ्यूजन.
So fusion music doesn't work for you, but you appreciate why other musicians do it? I mean, for example, let's put it this way. There are even pioneering musicians like Zakir Hussain, like Vishwa Mohan Bhatt, who do collaborations, who do fusion with Indian and foreign artists. And they're very popular for it.
I have my own way, and I think that किसी की समाधि लगती है तो एक की समाधि लगती है, 2 लोगों की समाधि कभी लगती नहीं. I want to go to that destination.
Finally, Kishori, let me ask you, what kind of music do you listen at home?
I listen to my mother's music, I listen to my own music, because I have no time otherwise to listen to others' music. Because when I listen to my cassette, I am the hardest critic of my own music. I am the hardest critic. ये यहाँ पर कैसे हुआ? ये गलत होना चाहिए नहीं, ये गलत है. Now tomorrow morning you sit for practice and you try to avoid that phrase. This is what I do at home, or I teach my students. That's all.
Kishori ji, you're a great musician. You're a very interesting personality. Thank you very much
thank you
for
so
joining
much.
us on our talk.
But I'm certainly not moody. I think I was quite nice with you.
You've been wonderful on this show. Thank you very much.
Yeah.